My name is Jeanette McLeod, and I'm a Platinum Leader with Young Living. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I'm just going to share with you on the Juice with Jeanette some little tips and tidbits that I've learned along the way. So here we go. The first thing, I have a list of things and a list of suggestions from people who gave it into me about things that they wanted to hear talked about. And this is kind of a mashup tonight. There's 3 different little topics that I wanted to touch on that are all equally important to our business and network marketing and relationship building and our multi-level relationships. So I'm just going to get at it. The first one that I briefly wanted to talk about was handling objections. We all run into this. We all run into handling objections. And it can be a little bit tricky, but there's 2 phrases that I've learned that are really useful in handling any kind of objection that we have. And the first one, you may have heard me talk about it before. It's called the feel, felt, found method. And this is something we cannot forget about. We cannot forget to use when we're talking to people about our products and they respond with an objection of, yeah, but you know what? They're just so expensive. They're so expensive. I just can't afford them. You can meet it very easily with, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found is, and respond genuinely and sincerely with what you have found. Obviously, we're all on this call tonight because we've come to love the oils. We've realized their value and their benefit. So you have a personal experience. So for example, mine would be, I know how you feel. I totally felt the same way. But when I realized how economical they were, how potent and pure these oils were, where 1 drop really goes the distance, I realized I was actually saving money by using these. Or the cleaning products. People have this common misconception that it's going to cost so much more money when you use green cleaners. Hey, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But when I did the math and I realized that these cleaner could be used on my mirrors, my toilets, my floors, my windows, everything in my house safely and effectively, then I did the math and it worked out to 84 cents a spray bottle. I realized that that wasn't anything to worry about. So the feel, felt, found method. This is what I've said before when somebody says, yeah, but isn't it one of those pyramid schemes? I know how you feel. I totally felt the same way, but I realized looking into it that this is a completely legitimate legal way of doing business, and it's actually a beautiful way of doing business because of the amount of people we actually get to help and the relationships I make. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found is, so it can be really used for any objections, or it's like, you know, one is they're just too overpowering. I don't like the smell of them. I'm scent sensitive. I can't handle them. They're too overpowering. Hey, I know how you feel. I totally felt the same way. What I found is by me using them very moderately in the beginning enabled me to still feel their therapeutic properties, but just give myself an opportunity to get used to them. And giving them suggestions, of course. Only put 1 or 2 drops in the diffuser, not 6. Put them on your feet and then put socks over top. Wash your hands after. That kind of thing. But I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Or, oh yeah, this is some of that hippie voodoo shit, right? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I realized is that this has been around for thousands of years. And when I saw the effect on myself, I couldn't argue with the benefits that they give us. So it can really be used in any way. The second phrase I've recently learned that I like, if you're doing boot camp, call out to you guys. Awesome, rock on boot camp is amazing. And they talked about this a couple of days ago. I don't know about that. All I know is, because guess what? The only thing people want to know is, does this product work and will it work for them? That's really all people want to know. We've talked about this before. They don't want to know the temperature of the distillation or the yield of the plants. They don't want to know all that jazz. They just want to know, will this product work and will it work for them? So we can say, I don't know about that. So when you're in a session and somebody says, well, is this going to work for my husband's gout? I don't know about that. All I know is when I rub it on my feet or when I put it on my body, I've seen pretty amazing results. Okay? Keep yourself away from being the expert. And I don't know about that. All I know is, well, would this help with my heartburn? I don't know about that, but all I know is when I put it on my esophagus, when I put a drop of peppermint there, it feels so good and it's so cooling and it's really soothing for me. So then you're just talking about your personal experience. I don't know about that. All I know is, and in boot camp, she really talked about just the all I know is. All I know is that when I've used it, I've seen amazing results. All I know is when I put it on my skin, it feels amazing. All I know is when I've had a hard day and I use that oil, it makes me have a great night's sleep. So you're not claiming anything. You're just using that perfect one line. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found is, and I don't know about that, all I know is. So we can use these in a lot of different situations, and I love them because they're so interchangeable. So when you get into that position where you're sharing with somebody, or like husbands are the worst for this because of course they can pick things apart, right, left, and center, that you can use the, I know how you feel, I felt the same way, but what I found is, or you can also use the, I don't know about that, all I know is. And it's great for all aspects. So the objections is the one thing I wanted to cover for you tonight because I've been doing this for 3.5 years, still get objections, just handle them a lot more smoothly when we have that verbiage in our toolkit. The second thing that I wanted to talk about in this Wednesday mashup is about being coachable. So the success of your business can really be determined on your coachability. Now, in Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers, fantastic book, I recommend to everybody. It talks about you needing to be 3 things. You need to be 3 things to be successful in this business. You need to be willing to work, you need to have a burning desire, and you need to be coachable. So being coachable would mean that you are open to suggestions, you are talking to your sponsor, your mentor, possibly a cross-line, where you are getting real feedback and you are really, truly trying to make those changes within yourself and within your business. The personal growth in this business model is quite remarkable. And by being coachable, you know, this really pairs well with following the leader. Most of you have heard my story about staying in line and being in a cafeteria lineup. It's the same thing. Being coachable means that you're actually paying attention to the people. It doesn't just have to be me. It doesn't have to be your sponsor. We don't have to go far to see the benefits that this model has for people. We have people who are being successful. Yes, Kevin and I are both home now, but we also have Jamie and Chelsea. We have Adam and Vanessa, and we have Bill and Carla. We have so many great examples so close to us that you don't have to look far. And by being coachable, that means you're just looking in front of you and you're doing what they're doing. You're modeling it. You're being an example of what it is, a mirror image of what it is that they are doing. So, for example, in the beginning, I got really sidetracked with trying to think about ways I could get my name out rather than just talking to people. And I really got on this notion of bus benches. I needed to put my advertisement on a bus bench. Everybody would see it. They would call me. I'm going to be the resident Young Living rep here. And I never went through with it because Jamie and Chelsea, we all kind of stopped and said, you know, that was a good idea. However, is that something Adam did to be successful? Whoa, big glaring no, it wasn't. So I was coachable enough for them to say, hey, wait a minute, let's step back and think about this and look at that. And then me paying attention to what the people in front of me have been doing to be successful. So that coachability part is really what's helped me be successful. It's taking the feedback that you're given. That also means that you're seeking feedback. You're not just putting your blinders on and, you know, forging your own path. This is a path that's already been laid out in front of you. The tools are already there. People who have made those mistakes. Are you following that road? Are you talking regularly to whoever your mentor is, wherever in the lineage, and you're really getting feedback from them, bouncing ideas off of them, and being open to that two-way conversation? That really looks like coachability in my eyes. Some people might have a different definition, or they might have something to add to that, but that's really my definition is, are you looking for conversation about the best opportunities for your business? So really try to remain coachable. The one thing Adam taught me a long time ago was the most expensive thing you can have is a closed mind. And that is very true in our business. So try not to have a closed mind, open it up. And if you haven't talked to your upline in a while, then now might be a good time to reach out, and vice versa. If you haven't talked to a builder in a little while, definitely reach out, because it's okay. I was on the phone with Chelsea. I am still on the phone with Chelsea daily. Does this sound good? Does that sound right? Do you think I should have done this? Do they sound blue to you? Because you need that coach, you need that mentor. So never think that you're bothering them. This is our business. This is what we're here to do. And we're all wanting the other to be successful. Excuse me. I posted a graphic on Momentum not that long ago where it was a bunch of women pulling each other up. That is what we're doing. If you're not calling your sponsor and asking for tips, tricks, bouncing ideas off of them, then you're not allowing them to help you up and help you go further. So just my take on it. So the other thing, the third thing in our Wednesday mashup tonight that I wanted to talk about was determining commitment level. This is an interesting topic. This was one given to me by one of our members, who I think is on the call actually. And it was about how do we determine somebody's commitment level, and this was business-based. So if I have somebody who said they want to do the business, how do I determine their commitment level? And determining their commitment level is pretty easy to do. If they meet their appointments, if they are coachable and do the things you maybe suggest for them to do, then their commitment level is high. If you suggest for them to do a few things like make their prospect list, or reach out to 3 people, or watch these videos and let me know what you think, or read the For Your Career, or read 25 to Life, you give them a few small tasks to complete and they don't complete them. Yeah, stabs you in the heart a little bit, because of course we want everybody to be a committed builder, working as hard as we are and going for it. But the bottom line is we need to meet people where they're at, and they're not all going to be at where you are. You might be in this place of giving 110%, and you're in a season of hustle and you are ready to make it happen. You know, they might not be, and that's okay. People do not have to move as fast as you to be a credible, valuable member of your team. That was a hard lesson for me to learn, and that is the bare bones truth to it. So I heard Darren Hardy speak, and he said, you're going to have people in your organization. So say you're 100%. You're all in. Okay, no questions asked. You're 100%. You're all in. You're doing it. You're doing boot camp. You're on these calls. You're doing training. You're going out. You're talking to people. You're signing people up right, left, and center. That's great. But then you meet somebody who's a committed builder, and they're going to do this. If they can only give you 30%, and they can only ever give 30%, that is still 30%, and it is valid. Maybe that's all they can ever give at one time, and that's okay. You're going to have people who give consistently 70%, not 100% like you, but 70%. They're still a valued member of your team. So when we're talking about commitment level of other people, it's really necessary for us to remember that we have to meet them where they're at. We have to run with them. If you heard the call from Yvonne on Monday night, she was a tough nut to crack. If you've heard my story, I was a tough nut to crack. The hardest nuts to crack are the most worth it. So just remember that it's going to take persistence, and it's going to take a load of patience on your part to nurture those seeds. But when you determine somebody's commitment level, like, yes, we've all got so much. If you say, can you do the For Your Career and meet with me for coffee next Tuesday, and you've reached out to 3 people and they cancel Tuesday, you can say, okay, well, let's try for Friday. Let's do Friday, have that done, we'll talk again. And they say, oh, you know what, I didn't get it done, I've been busy, life's been off. Then you can say, that's okay, and don't reschedule them in your calendar. Let them know you can come to me when you're ready, and for now we'll just do this, and take them off your calendar for now. Don't let them be where they're at. Don't push them. Well, when are you going to get it done? Well, can we do this? Can we meet Monday? Can we meet Tuesday? No. Just leave them where they're at. Let them be where they're at, and I can guarantee you, by having that nurturing, patience, you're going to bloom an incredible, beautiful plant from it. So when it's commitment level with other people who are coming on board with you, just remember to meet them where they're at, have some patience, nurture that, and remember that you have to be on the same playing field as them. So try and be empathetic, look at them. Just a quick recap for the juice tonight, the objections. I know how you feel, I felt the same way, and I found the other response to objections is, I don't know about that, all I know is, perfect. Being coachable, looking at the people in front of you and what they possibly have done to be successful, and reaching out with a steady stream of communication with your sponsor or your mentor, as well as if you're a leader, a steady stream of communication with your downline, and determining commitment level. Try to meet people where they're at, and that's great advice for whether they are members or they are builders coming alongside us, is just to meet people where they're at. So thanks for joining me tonight. I'm going to end there. And feel free to stay on the call if you have any questions and want to chat about it.